Hello, lovely people of the internet. I am Dameon Geppetto, and I've got a great video for you today about Football Manager 26 and the wonderful tactical system they have developed for us. We now have in possession and out of possession tactics, and this might be the big game-changing thing you need to customize your team and make them overperform, kind of like I've done. I have West Ham United currently sitting third in the Premier League after 21 games, number one in the league with shutouts. Well, stick around and you'll see the tactics. Just wanted to show you the table here so you can see I have steered West Ham United to 45 points in 21 games, 14 wins, 3 draws, 4 losses. We have 17 goals against. We have the lowest goals against of any team. Nobody is scoring because this is a 5 in the back tactic. And what is that, you ask? Well, we'll show you straight out. So what we've got here is a gegenpress. The downfall of a gegenpress is it tires your people out. The upside of a gegenpress is you steal the ball and you make life living hell for every single team that you play. And that is the point of this tactic. You are going to defend hard. You are going to try and steal the ball back in the midfield and make it hard for them to get shots off, let alone have possession. The only downside with the tactic is it's not a possession of the ball tactic. So sometimes you won't have a lot of possession in games. You might have 35, 40% possession. But if you win the game 1-0, does it really matter if you have 55% possession or not? Now, it is not a Route 1 style. It's kind of a mix between gegenpress and a little tiki-taka. But there's a little bit of Route 1 involved in it. But we'll start with the basic tactics. In possession here on this side, as you can see, this is in possession. This is out of possession. We're going to show both on the screen so you can see how the people move in and out. It is a 5-2-1-2. What this means is we're going to start from the back and go up to the top. Obviously, goalkeeper, we're not even going to talk about that. He's a goalkeeper. He stops goals from going in. End of story. We've got 3 center backs at the back. I find since 23, they have fixed the communication with the center backs, and these 3 in 26, man, they move like they're on a string. They are constantly moving and keeping together in a way that makes having 3 center backs at the back overpowered. I've got the 2 outside ones just on central back roll, and we got here in the middle, he's on the ball playing center back roll, which is more expressive, holds his position, just gives a little more oomph to the side. You could simply put him on straight center back if you want to be a little more cautious. But this is once again in possession. Now the key to this is you focus on getting good center backs, you focus on getting a couple good strikers, and you have to have a good wing back on both the left and the right side. If you don't have good wing backs, this might be difficult to run. But if you've got decent wing backs, oh boy, does this sing. Because we've got attacking wing back on both sides. And what these attacking wing backs do is they get further forward and they stay wide. So they're pushing up and they're staying wide. Pretty simple. 2 defensive midfielders. One is just playing straight defensive midfielder. They're just holding their position. They're being careful. The other is a box-to-box midfielder. In possession, they're sliding in to the attacking midfield central role. They're a goal threat. So we're putting 4 up when we're in the attacking third. We're moving 4 up. And we will go through this and show because this new game has a great way where it breaks down what you're doing with the tactics. But let me just explain the thought process behind it. So we're pushing up from the wings. From the wings, we're going to cross it into the center, and we're going to have 3 to 4 possible goal threats. We have an attacking midfield center who's playing as advanced playmaker, which means trying to find space between the lines, playing expressive. They're trying to sneak in between the defenders and get into the goal box. We have a deep lying forward on the right side. Now, you could switch this to right and left. The role being on a specific side doesn't matter, but have a poacher and have a deep lying forward. If you switch the sides, you will switch who pulls back, but we'll get to that in a second here. So deep lying forward here, drops into space, links play. So we have attacking midfield center coming up. We have a deep lying forward coming back. We're creating chaos in the attacking positions. We are giving multiple people who could score, multiple people who are looking to pass, and find that last little touch. And then we got the poacher here who's going to be your best striker, right? Poacher, he plays on the last line and he's a goal threat. This is somebody who's staying up the whole time. Ideally, it's somebody who's tall, who can head the ball into the goal on a consistent basis. So that is what it looks like in possession, all right? So that is the basic formation. Out of possession, it shifts into a 5-2-3. Very little movement. No movement in positions in the back. The only movement is in the attacking side. So we're attacking, we give up the ball, they take control immediately. This striker here on the left moves to the center. Not much movement at all. They just relocate to the center. They're now playing as a central outlet center forward. They're staying high, and they're there for counterattacks. They're basically trying to be the leak out or the pass it ahead type option. They're not playing any defense at all. They're just there for when we use our pressing and take the ball back. And we have Paqueta here, who's playing as my attacking midfield center. The attacking midfield center moves from the center over to the attacking midfield left position. And they are a tracking winger. So they track back and they support the defense. Both this attacking midfield center and this striker are performing the same role, tracking wingbacks right and left. So they are coming back and they're helping the defense. And why? Well, because they're going out to the wings, because they're trying to stop the fullbacks or force the wingbacks/fullbacks to push the ball upfield or throw the ball upfield, do whatever they got to do. The point is they're coming out from an attacking role and they're moving out to the sides to put pressure on the sides to force the ball into the center of the field, which gives the wingbacks who are pushing forward the time to get back in position in case they swing it out to the wing and try and run down the sides. So that's why they're going out to the wings, out of possession, not in possession. The person performing the pass it into the penalty box and get the goals is the wingbacks. Your wingbacks are the ones who are running all the way up, chipping it into the box, and we have 4 in the box. But out of possession, we're coming back and we're playing some heavy defense. So in possession, we started at the back. Out of possession, we're starting at the front because that's how it usually goes. You start your possession at the back, you start your defense at the front. So we have the 2 wingbacks are both pressing wingbacks. They move up and they're assertive. They're putting pressure on. So what we're doing is we're sandwiching the wingbacks and the fullbacks. We have our wingbacks pressing up on them when they get the ball out on the wing, and we have our attacking wingers coming up. We're sandwiching them. We're forcing them to have to get the ball so that they can't just easily dribble the ball up the sides of the pitch. And then the defensive midfielder, who was shifted up into the attacking midfield central role, is now pressing defensive midfielder. They're also moving up and they're assertive. So they're also trying to steal the ball. They're already going to be up the pitch. You give up the ball. So they're not running all the way back and letting them just dribble down the pitch. They're going to be pressing and trying to steal the ball right back. And once again, we have the defensive midfielder who's just being a defensive midfielder. They're just sitting there. You could technically run as a screening defensive midfielder, hold position cautious if you want. I don't think you would want to put a pressing defensive midfielder too. You only want one of those. And I don't think you need to drop them into a center back role because we already have 3 center backs. We don't need 4. That's overkill. So Souček here is holding the defensive midfield role on both in possession and out of possession. Everyone else is running crazy. And then, once again, we've got 3 center backs in the back. The 2 on the edges are just playing plain center back role. There's no extra instructions whatsoever. And the one in the middle is the stopping center back. They step out, they're assertive. Now, if you are a much lower level team, you might want to put them as a covering center back or just regular center back. I have found if you run all 3 as just flat center backs, the synergy is great and it works great. But now, let's get to the most important part of setting up these tactics. Team instructions. What are we telling the team to do? How does this work? In FM26, you will now see that you can look in possession and out of possession in each phase of the pitch here. So in possession, we're doing passing directness as standard, which means we are going to do some short passes, some long passes. If you set your mentality to balance, you're going to do a little bit of both. If you set to cautious and defensive, short passes. If you set it to positive attacking, it's going to be a lot more long passes. So you can adjust the passing directness, but it also allows a variance. So sometimes you will pass the short passes, maintain possession, move it around, slowly move up the field. Sometimes you're just going to chip it over the top and go for a run. It keeps the defense on their toes. The tempo is higher because this is gegenpress. It's got to be higher. You got to be pushing the tempo. I would not push it any more than higher because you will wear your guys out way too much. Attacking width is standard. You could go to wider, but I don't think you need to. You definitely would never go narrow with this type of a formation. And you'll see why when you see what we're trying to do. Attacking transition is counterattack. We are trying to immediately go after the opponent. Once again, we're pressing to try and steal the ball at every opportunity. So what do you do when you press and steal the ball? You want to counterattack right away. The idea with this is you play defense, you steal the ball, you get a goal, and then you can drop it down to cautious. And you can just sit back and wait for them to make a mistake and then try and get another goal. Creative freedom is more expressive. It allows them the freedom to play their game and doesn't tell them they have to stick in other positions. Because we are moving around so much with this formation, you have to have the expressive freedom. It's not a stodgy park the bus. This is a punch them in the mouth gegenpress. That is the whole point of this. Time wasting, less often. When you got the win at 85 minutes, yeah, you can throw that on in the middle of the match. Always leave it at less often to start the match. Play for set pieces. This is keep the ball in play. So it keeps the attack going. We try to make chances. We try to keep people moving around. Certain teams you're going to play for set pieces so you can get more corners. It depends. I like this as default. Keep the ball in play. Now here's something you will see in possession. You can see this is what the formation looks like, the default formation. What does it look like when we just get the ball in possession here? The build-up strategy, play through the press. We're trying to take more risk. We're staying composed under pressure. We're not worried if somebody presses us because we're going to press them right back and get it back. Goal kicks is mixed. The reason I have it mixed is because sometimes the goalkeeper will pass it long, sometimes he'll pass it short, sometimes he'll just give it to the center back, sometimes he'll chip it out to the wing backs, sometimes he'll chip it over the top for the strikers. And goalkeeper distribution speed balanced. So sometimes he's going to slow the pace down, sometimes he's going to get rid of it quick. Let the goalkeeper make the decision. The AI is not that dumb. They will make the right decision. And then goalkeeper distribution is balanced. Sometimes they're going to go out to the cornerback, sometimes they'll go to the fullback. They can play to anybody. This lets the goalkeeper make the decision. Now, if we get it when we are in possession and we get to the center of the pitch, you'll see how the formation changes. So now we have our three center backs are here. Our wing backs have pushed forward because they are the ones trying to cross it through. Our defensive midfielder who's holding that is here. The box-to-box midfield who's playing defensive midfield but moves forward into the attacking midfield position, moves up. The attacking midfield center starting to find a little lane to go through. The supporting runs come from both flanks. This is an underlap. You set the overlap to balance and underlap to both flanks. What this does is it instructs the players on both flanks to hold on to the ball, looking for a teammate to make a supporting run behind them from a more central area. So as the wingbacks are pushing up, you're asking other players to go behind them and up through the defense to find a hole for a little pass. Dribbling is balanced so they can do whatever they want. And we're progressing through both flanks. So the entire point is get the ball, get it out to the flanks, run it up. People are going to come behind the flanks and try and make an angle for a good pass and distribute the ball that way. Pass reception is balanced, so sometimes they're going to pass it to space, sometimes they're going to pass it to their feet. This is when we're in the midfield, and when we get into the final third, this is what it looks like. Dribbling is balanced, once again, let them decide what to do. Patience is work the ball into the box. Remain patient and not force the issue. Retain and recycle the ball until they are able to create a high quality opportunity. Shots from distance is balanced because sometimes you need to take a shot from distance. Crossing style is balanced because I don't want to force them to only float crosses or whip crosses or low crosses. Let them make the decision. So those are the instructions in possession. Now let's look at out of possession. We lose the ball in the attacking third. Here's the high press. We have the one striker who's sitting up the front. The pressing trap is balanced. Instead of forcing them to one area, the whole entire tactics is going to make the other team want to put it in the central area. We don't have to press on the outside to do that. We already have a natural press set up on the outside by the way we have formed the formation. Short goalkeeper distribution stop. No. What this is do you press the goalkeeper to stop them from giving a pass right to the center back? I have this to know. We want them to distribute it to the center back. We want them to make as many passes as possible because we're pressing them. Pass it to the center back. Maybe we can tackle, steal the ball right there in the penalty box, and boom, there's a goal. It's all about setting the press up in the middle of the pitch. But as you can see, we already have Geppetto, who was attacking midfield center, has already moved. You notice one striker's already moved out to this position. We've got our wingbacks are pressing. We've already got our defensive midfielders have formed right back, and our center backs are aligned. So we go to the mid block. What does it look like in the mid block? Strikers just drop down a little. Same kind of situation. It's the same exact formation. So the only transition they have is going from this form to that form. That is the only time where there's a lot of movement from one position to another, is when they lose possession in the final third and then have to move into the out of possession. As you can see, it's the same exact formation as it was here. 3 in the back, 2 in the middle. We got 2 flanking each other on the wings. And then when you come all the way back to the low block, you have just a line of defenders. Now, as you see, once again, pressing trap is balanced in the middle. Cross engagement is balanced. And that is the basics of this strategy. I've covered it in detail. You can go ahead and put it in the comments what changes you did to take this winning strategy and make it your own. But I'm telling you, this is a winning strategy that is portable between leagues. Whether you're a top flight league or whether you're fighting from the 5th division trying to get up, guess what? This will take you there. Now, the final thing I want to talk about with this tactics that makes it so overpowered is the recruiting side of it. You have less positions that you need to focus on when buying players or getting players on loans. Because all you need are strikers who can also play attacking midfield. You need technically three strikers who can also play attacking midfield, or 2 who can play attacking midfield and 1 that's just a dedicated striker. But that means you can go heavy on scouting strikers. You need 3 center backs, so you go heavy on scouting center backs, so you can always have a pipeline for strikers and center backs going. Only midfielders you need are defensive midfielders. So there's 3 positions. The core of your team is 3 positions: strikers, defensive midfielders, and center backs. That's the core of your team. And of course, you have wingbacks, and those are your priority. Having quality wingbacks is a key to running this formation. But once you get that quality wingback, you just need backup or 2, because the wingbacks are going to get tired running up and down the field. You're going to be substituting at least one of these wingbacks out every single game. But I promise you, this will get you more wins than just your standard 4-2-3-1 that everybody's throwing out there. It's got a little bit of the Route 1, it's got a little bit of the Tiki Taka, and it's got a hell of a lot of Gegenpress. So let me know. If you liked the video, you're out and watched all this long, go ahead and subscribe. I'll be putting out more videos on FM26 because I actually like this game. It's going places. And make sure you put a like on the video. Put a comment down there. Tell me what you think you would do to change this formation to make it better. And have a wonderful day.